Piolet d'Or Awards celebrate the hardest and most audacious big mountain climbs of the season. We have exclusive interviews with all of the award winners, and first up is the duo of Ramsden and Mick Fowler. This is their third time winning a Piolet d'Or, this time honouring their ascent of Ramsden in Nepal. Hi guys. Let's talk about the route first of all. Can you just tell me a bit about it?
Yeah, it's the extreme northwest of Nepal on the Nepal-Tibet border, and it's a pretty remote area. It's 4 or 5 days walk from the nearest airstrip, and that airstrip itself is 4 or 5 days walk from the nearest roadhead. But the great thing for us, I think, is it was an area that neither of us had been to before. It's a culturally very interesting area. No Westerners had actually been up the valley before, so no Western mountaineers had ever seen the face before. So we were guessing a bit of what we might come across. But it had all the sort of ingredients of adventure, uncertainty, excitement, cultural, ethnic interest that make a trip really good. Yeah, boxes ticked.
So no one had ever seen the face before. How did you know it was climbable or even a possible objective?
We'd been doing some sort of research on the area on Google Earth.
Okay.
And Google Earth, you can change the time of day on the satellite imagery. And if you go for early in the morning or evening, you can watch how the shadows change over the glaciers. And in that area, you notice the biggest shadow by far is the north face of Ramsden. We knew there was something really big there. There's obviously a big height gain over a short distance. So a lot of it was based around the shadow.
And how much did it change when you looked and saw the face for the first time?
A lot.
Yeah. Google Earth can be quite misleading, and it's interesting to compare the Google Earth image that we had of the face compared to reality, and reality was much more impressive.
Were there any sort of nasty surprises with reality, like any Serac danger that you weren't expecting? Or was it?
Yes, there was a huge north face, very wide, very tall. But actually, when you got to see it in real life, there was a lot of seracs, a lot of sort of avalanche potential. So this big face, as you observed it, it got narrower and narrower as you discounted various options until you would basically end up with one feasible safe line. So it did.
Which made it all the better,
yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there was one line that was an obvious line. It went straight to the summit of the mountain. The summit was unclimbed, and there was an obvious and pretty safe descent route that was different that we could choose as well.
So tell me, because this blows my mind a little bit, when you're packing at the bottom to go on this climb, you have no idea how long it's going to take. Do you sort of pack bare minimum of food, sort of equipment? Would you take more than necessary? Logistically, how do you set yourself up to climb something that no one has any idea how long it will take?
No, well, we have a very good idea how long it will take because we've done lots of these things over the years. And during our acclimatisation outing, we spend a lot of time staring through binoculars at the face, working out exactly where we might spend the night.
Because it's very steep, so there's limited places you can put a bivouac ledge. So we kind of plan out the climb beforehand. In fact, we actually sit there and basically draw a pre-route topo.
Okay. So
we actually plan where we're going, where we can sleep, where variations might exist. So we actually quite carefully plan the whole thing out, don't we? So you sort of provisionally you have a plan for, say, we'll climb this over 5 days, and you've already marked on in your mind where we're going to camp and where we're going to sleep.
So how long were you on the face for itself? Was it 5 days on the face? Or?
So from base camp it was a day's walk to the foot of the route, and then 5 days climbing on the route, and then 2 days descending.
Okay.
It would have been 3 days descending, but he made me carry on walking all the way to base camp.
It's not very fair.
Whereas I would have stopped when we got down to the side of the glacier, but he wouldn't let me.
But there's not a beer weight in a base camp. It's like, you know.
No, there was no beer at base camp.
There's no beer at base camp? That was the first area.
That was a major area, was that?
Yeah. The climbing itself, tell me about the difficulties. What kind of grades are we looking at for something like that?
I think that the difficulties are not so much the important thing, really. I mean, it was just that it was an eye-catching line, and it was safe from objective dangers, and it led straight to the summit.
It's quite entertaining because people are always quoting grades on Himalayan routes, but when you're at high altitude and you've got a big rucksack on, you can't. It's so hard to judge grades. It's almost a bit of a joke, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these big grades, there's a lot of ego involved with the people involved. You get these huge grades that have about 25 letters in them. Nobody understands what they mean.
Oh, I'm not quite sure what they mean.
I get very
I must
confused.
admit.
So, you know, we just say it's hard, and if you want to try it, get to the bottom and judge it for yourself.
We're basically trying to choose exciting holiday objectives, and within exciting is the whole picture. Getting there as well as the climb.
And you guys have had a huge amount of success over the years, especially climbing together. Tell me a bit about your sort of climbing partnership.
I think the main thing is trusting each other's judgment, really, and thinking much the same way about the challenges you face. I mean, we were saying this morning, I don't think we've ever actually had a disagreement on the route, not about which way we should go, whether we should go up, whether we should go down. You tend to have just sensible, level-headed discussions, and a solution to the issue just sorts itself out. And just, we know each other well. If one of us is completely knackered and we'd like the other one to lead, you just say so. So there's no pressure on one or the other. We're there together to have a good time and climb together. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Stay tuned for more interviews with the other winning teams over the next couple of weeks. See you tomorrow.